Previously, in Neptune's pride Sigma Rotanev, powerful alliances have been formed and the stage is set for the coming conflicts between them. In the center, Ungoliant, Tinfoil, and Corti 1000 have coordinated the takedown of Clan Mag and have successfully incorporated Belson and Galaxu into their alliance as well. In the south, Scarlet and Karastarbex Thrace have united and working together. They face weak neighbors and an easy expansion in the short term. They have reached out to nearly everyone, and yet their intentions and the full extent of their machinations is yet unknown. In the southwest, Raven Rager and Dr. Philbill have collaborated, defeating on the rocks, and could be heading north. In the northwest, Greymason's alliance has begun to grow in strength. Whether he will support Jorb Gorb against Tinfoil and Corti 1000 or attack him will determine the fate of the battle and the political landscape resulting thereafter. And finally, in the northeast, the Knights of the Round Table have incorporated Aiv as their newest and strongest member, sowing the seeds of rivalry between the allies of Greymason and the Knights of the Round Table.
Alright, this is Sigma Rotanev log 7. We're in the 9th cycle. Let's see. So, according to... it seems that our rival has decided to attack. This is a bit concerning. It seems that let's see, 286 to here, 177 to that one. Yeah, so these are massive fleets. That's about half his force, and there's probably more on the way. Now, right now he has weapons 4, but I suspect he chose this time to attack because he's going to get another weapons upgrade. This is a bit concerning. Thankfully, my good ally, the Hurricaneon, has completed his objectives in the south. Finishing off this guy should not be so hard, especially since we have, double the weapons. And so, yeah, he's going to be facing his might very quickly. So we'll need to, let's say, so let's do some calculations, or let's just do some adding up, right? Okay, so these two numbers are what we have right now at the front lines, but this new number, this combined force, since he no longer has a problem in the south, assuming how trustworthy this person should be, I hope it's alright. Well, in any case, yes. So we have the advantage. Currently, we have the same weapons count. I do not know how long that will last. He has 26 to our 17. Yeah. He has 26 to our 17, or 26 to their 21. And yet, Greymason has higher weapons than him. Why is he not focused on weapons? Are they not sharing? Are they prioritizing garbage instead? I don't know. Well, whatever the case. How okay, so he's in... Yes, okay, so Beltaloda is within range of scanning of both Greymason and Soul Fury, and yet they both have yet to share hyperspace range. Although, in their defense, it could probably be due to lack of money. Yeah. Okay, so it's a recent development. Yeah, it's okay, fine, fair enough. Let's see what happens. Let's see how the south is going. No conflicts yet. Oh, what could that be from? Okay, so alright, so they're beating up on the rocks. On the rocks is, well, on the rocks, as always. Okay, so he's clearly fighting, I bet he's fighting the AI. Yeah, that's about right. Okay, so Scarlet, how's that going? War on two fronts. No fun, even if it's just AI. Well, in any case, so recap, they're attacking. We have allies in the south. You should be able to focus north, and we should win. Additionally, Tinfoil's attacking from this side. We do not know how. He seems that I think he's committing harder to the right. So yeah, that's well. What is Job Gorb's role in this? If these three are your allies, Beltaloda, Sulfuri, and Job Gorb, then unless you're just gonna have some skinny path through them, you kinda blocked yourself in. Is he just a roadblock? I don't know. Not yet. Now's not the time for this.
He knows! He knows! Oh! How did he know? Who told him? Dang it! Oof! This is gonna be a bit of a problem.
Okay. So it appears. Yeah, I could figure as much. This is going to be concerning. However, we have our own cards to play. He has good ties to the south, Darmondi, and probably the Ripper. Yes, and right now is a non-aggression pact. Now, in all honesty, in all fairness, I was expecting we would ally with Grey Mason, then turn south and crush everyone. And then I was wondering, well, how does he fit in? Because he's friends with him. He might not be wanting to, destroy his friends, and so I was worried about having to deal with, double loyalties. However, as it turns out, given these recent developments, we might not be allying with Grey Mason, but rather we might instead be allying with our allies to the south. Yeah, these let's see, have they traded anything? Let me just get the time. I apologize if this causes I apologize for the ping, but this is important for my cartography efforts. I apologize if it was a bit annoying, but yeah, gotta take a look at this, because the nature of the South could be important. No border changes in the South yet, so there's still a bunch of hippies. Wow. So, how much plates? So, quick. Okay, so basically what could be the game plan, he's AFK, and he's been AFK for a long time. They should be going after his territory, no? But they're not. We're gonna need all the advantage we can get, and paying money to an AFK AI not only is gonna be draining the bank, but it's stars that you can't have. And I know these are a lot of fleets. They are a lot of fleets, yes. but he has one weapons lower. We might, yeah. You should probably divvy this guy up, and then we could. Then once you're powerful enough, then you push south, crush the hippies, and then let's see. I might consider having allying with this person, but I do not know. If Grey Mason got to them first, then it could be a pickle. I could use my unusual strategy against them. After all, who would believe that a person would be blocked in, allied to everyone else around him, and not be planning for an expansion path? Could I pretend like, oh, he didn't calculate this? I don't know. He probably briefed them on. He probably told them my life story about, about what I do. That I'm gonna pay a bunch of money to this guy, and I'm not gonna do anything the whole game. So, going that angle might not be beneficial. The last time I tried to bring someone against him, that backfired spectacularly. I mean, it played into our hands, but it still backfired. Okay. So, worst case scenario. Let's see. QWERTY is clearly going this way. Tinfoil is clearly going this way. And Jorb. You know, I did say I wasn't going to throw a monkey wrench into his plans, but that was on the assumption that we would be allies. Something that apparently appears no longer to be the case. You have brought this upon yourself. Convenient. Convenient for the time being. Very useful now, but I lament your fate now that your usefulness draws to a close. This must be perfected at some later time. I don't have time for this right now. But you have brought this upon yourself. See, tackling allies is not the same as tackling a neutral party. Allies are already allies, and they're just not going to turn on each other. I can't just say, oh look, he's a sus, and then he's just gonna turn his fleets around against the enemy. No, that's not going to work. Instead, the way you tackle allies is you undermine their trust. Because how much they trust and how much, literally how much they like each other will determine their effectiveness. And so undermining this can at the very least weaken the resolve. I've paid attention to Mustache Mario, or at least I've thought about why he made the actions he did. And yes, his actions were quite confusing, but that I think it's fair to say that those were a conclusion of Mustache Mario. That was not a conclusion. It was a result not of his inabilities, but as a result of trust. And I suspect Lightweaver undermined Mario's trust in Grey Mason, and that could explain many of the confusing choices that Mustache Mario made. See, Grey Mason knew that he wasn't going to betray Mustache Mario, but Mustache Mario didn't. And so this very same confusion can be weaponized now. Now that Grey Mason has made it abundantly clear that we will not be on the same side, as unfortunate as that would be Oh well. See, what the way tackling alliances, you have to be more subtle. You can't just say turn on your allies, that's never going to work. You have to be a bit more creative. Huh? Yes, it's gonna be a bit of a problem. Well, this took an interesting turn. Alright, this is the next, whatever, log 8? Okay, whatever. So, I mess with my potential enemies, and I think being plainly honest can almost is like it's almost like playing with your cards face up. Let's see. Yeah, and then like it is like I did not realize I needed to message you. I needed to tell you my intentions. Are there any other rules I should know? And so I'm just gonna mess with them. I once spent Photoshop screenshots. Me and Gray Mason came to that mutual understanding a game ago. I keep my word. Okay, let's see what else. So, yeah, they're clearly allies. And, let's see, have they lost any ships? I don't know. Oh, right. There's one way to know. Okay. What? Is he indeed attacking him? I wasn't expecting that. Oh well. Perhaps he actually has flipped. If that was the case, why are there no ship losses? Whatever. How's this going? Oof. Looking a bit concerning. Yikes. Man, we're getting beat up real bad. Why is he not having the same techs? We can't afford this nonsense. Come on. No terraforming. Whatever. Say although they have weapons 5 to our. Oh, we also have 5. Oh, we're keeping up. Very nice. 1, 3, 8, 4 plus 7, 8. So it is combined in a total of 31,000 fleets. Whereas we... Come on. Tech... We need to be coordinating techs. We can't afford any games going on. But even though the advantage is going, not necessarily mean that can we afford this time or roughly to attack it, and for that, because we do defensive or we lose the advantage because the changes are lower. We do some based on the advantage, such as the food they lose. Factory production, that's cool, we got also ones that are hustling on. We're doing this, pretty good, very good. So we still have the advantage. Not to mention any potential conflict here. Tech level 4, and they have it. So, this is strange. Yeah, why are those changing? Have I really succeeded in turning him against Great Mason? Well, or maybe I don't know what's going on here. Last time I tried turning someone against Grey Mason, it backfired, but maybe this is different. Yeah, I think what happened is he sent a bunch of ships here, and then Grey Mason abandoned it because he doesn't want him to, you know, take the doesn't want to burn up their fleets. He'd rather him turn his fleets this way. And one thing I know about people is they don't like being used. Mustache Mario is I think I have a theory about Mustache Mario. Lightweaver got to him. I think that explains why Mustache Mario made the blunders he made. He shot himself and his alliance in the foot. 'Cause Lightweaver told him, "You're being used and no one likes being used." I think I figured out how to break alliances. Man, this is too much power. What? Are they not sharing? Or maybe they ran out of money. Speaking of... Right, the calculations. So, they do a 35 and yeah. No. Well, this is one way to calculate who has the advantage, or whether an advantage is overwhelming. We have the overwhelming advantage. Barely. But our advantage is indeed overwhelming. But that's an existing ship. So what about production? We barely went out in production. That means, all things going well, we should press the attack. Now, I gave him a bunch of money, like 600s. Now, he's sharing the weapons and scanning and... Let's see. Now, weapons, scanning... Yes, let's see. Weapons, scanning, range... These things are upgrades that take effect immediately. Maybe I'll just tell him to not give me that, because right now I don't need it. And it's better if he puts that into his own industry and economy and science. Because the thing about money is that money inflates very fast in this game. As everyone's economy gets stronger, money and ships, they inflate very quickly. you need to use those as quickly as possible. So if I'm gonna be if my ships are indeed needed, then I can be given those upgrades later. Maybe I should tell him now. If before, maybe I would be worried that he would stab me in the back, or maybe he'd stab me in the back. But given that they know my temperament is no longer expansionist and that I'm no longer a liability, but rather, then I can lead them to victory. And I guess, my force can just be, a reserve, just in case. Yeah, may as well tell him that. Why does autocorrect never work on terraforming? There's a reason people shorten it to Terra. It's because this just doesn't work. Yeah, just clearly it's spelled correctly, but people don't like the squiggly lines. Small annoyance, whatever. Alright. Perhaps it was a bit late for that, but oh well. Okay, so Ungoliant is not boxed in. They have a path to go, and they're going this way toward the west. And I foresee that unless they don't work something out, they're going to quickly clash. Already, they're going to overwhelm Avoroid, Ungoliant, and they're just gonna overwhelm. We have Sulfuri and Beltalowada, who I suspect must have contacted him and then told Grey Mason. He probably is the one that's responsible for turning Grey Mason against me, for spying on my alliance. Well, whatever. Yeah, so they're going down, then they're gonna. So he's putting up a bit of a fight, but they're not coordinating. Are you kidding me? They gotta. If they fold, then fighting them is going to be a lot harder. But whatever. How's the situation here? Yeah, their techs are all weak and uncoordinated. Dr. Philville's heading north, I think. Seemingly ignoring the AI, going for the players. How's Rager doing? Tech isolated, unfortunately for him. On the rocks. No economy, he's really on the rocks. Are they allied? They're not trading tech, so if they are, they're not efficiently allied. Let's just put it like that. Let's see. Yeah, AFK. So, yeah, weapons 3, weapons 4. So they're not really. Is there any fighting going on? Some. So they're fighting against. Who? Who are they fighting against? Blue Triangle? Probably. Yeah, so Ave might be pushing this way. He'll be hitting Belson soon enough. If we can get Darmody and the Ripper in, that'd be good, but it's a little early to get so many people in the alliance. Generally, even having this many people is hard, you know, because every other moment I'm wondering, is he really with us? But I think, well, on the other hand, if we get in his other friends, then he won't have to worry about divided loyalties, because all his friends are in one alliance. Or they'll break off and we'll have to fight them. I don't know, it's figuring out the situation could be tough. Then of course we have Scarlet. I hear. Yeah, Grey Mason told them that, I'm sure. Yeah, Gary Mason told everyone we get Pink Star on us. I don't know what your expansion paths are now. He's saying that because he's scared. Because he doesn't want to believe that the paths are pointing toward him. Or maybe my playstyle is so unusual that anyone who tries to figure it out will just be stumped, making him sound like a madman. Or making them untrusting. It's a double-edged sword. See, my plan is to pay a bunch of money to someone and then they win. And by helping someone win, it's like I won. You know, because when you help someone, you know, you have a part in their achievements. You know, it's helping people's nice. But no one's going to believe me if I say it like that. I mean, seriously, who would think that anyone playing this game is a nice person? They'll never believe me. Well, in any case, they don't have to. I give them enough money that they'll be happy. The question is, in terms of diplomacy, they're too far away that right now it doesn't matter if they're friends or enemies. They can say all they want. Right now they're fighting. Perhaps even amongst themselves. Is there any rules that I should know about? Come on. Small side note. I spend about 30 minutes typing all this up, doing calculations. Spam, what is this garbage? I don't think you appreciate the importance of informing our allies on the proper way of fighting. But you're too big, you can stay. Whatever. Not much to do. He has a lot of carriers, and so he's properly mobilizing. Yeah, that's a lot of fleets. Yeah, that's a lot of carriers, and so I think he's taken my advice. And yeah, we're gonna need to mass all the ships against our enemies quick as possible, because that production is very fast, and we're only gonna beat it if everything's going to the front as fast as possible. 21 for 25. Only 4 carriers. In his defense, he's spending on industry like he has done at Morrow, because for a while he didn't. So, I guess that's fair enough. How's Kane doing? He's doing well. Very respectable. He let's see, he figured that right now it's like he figured that the situation was such, and so instead of fighting us, he threw all his ships into the AI in a bid to help us succeed. So you have my respect. And I guess in the other game, I guess you're gonna need all the effort to fight a losing battle. Good luck. Well, anyways. You have my respect. Well, I guess that concludes most of my thoughts for today. Let's see. A new message. What is this? Oh no, how tragic. It worked. It worked better than expected. Good luck, my friend. Look at that. Interesting. I see. So now you come to discussions. After all. Wait. Yes. It's no longer simple to just crush us outright, is it? But perhaps. Well, let's take a look. Job Group will slow him down. Tinfoil is also, look, like, at 27. Like, so even if he fights, they'll fold. So the question is, well, ideological leader. I'm not AFK. I'm not AFK. Scarlet and Kara Starbucks Thrace. So here's the thing. So he has good. So Ave, the most powerful player, at least according to the leaderboard, has good connections with the Ripper and Darmandy, and the Harkonnen also vouched for the Ripper, as well as Kara Starbuck Thrace and Scarlet. But also Grey Mason is reaching out. So on one hand, personally I would prefer to ally with Grey Mason and his friends, because, well, I have a history with him, and it's a good one, and if we could work together that'd be good. But a good leader has to know and understand the people he leads, and right now he's a very big part of our alliance, and and it seems like he's partial to the southern allies, and well, I intend to put my allies first. Yeah, once I decide on someone to win, I seek their victory above all else. So on one hand, I really don't like turning down people, but on the other hand, things are in motion that can't easily be unmotioned. I have not yet done calculations now. See, the thing is, I don't know, have they actually lost ships yet? They have? Okay, so it seems that Jorb hasn't exactly flipped against Grey Mason. Perhaps these are just mind games to fool me into thinking that what I did worked, because Jorb probably told Grey Mason what I said. After all, they didn't lose any ships. I mean, come on. But it appears that what we're looking at is see, the thing is, like, yeah, right now I'd rather not fight him, and I think it'd be good to have him on our side. He also has good ties with these guys, and so either if we say no to his friends, then he might go with them, and then we'll lose, crushed by both the central and the southern. But if we pick up their allies as well, first of all, it'll be very large. Yeah, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Especially in the early game, it's a bit large. And also, where would the arrows point? 2 empires here. One would have to go through, or go around the south. Then you have Dr. Phil. Actually, let's take a look. Let's take a look at the premier powers. So Grey Mason by far. Yeah, very high on the economy side of things. Curti was high, but no longer the highest. So, and we're actually making progress. Very nice. I don't know how long it will last, but I think with us combined, the Harkonnen, with my very generous support, you see, I give him like, I've been giving him like 500, and then last turn I gave him like 600. So really, it's what the stats, they lie. The economy for him says 700, but really it's like, you know, plus 50 to that, so it's more like 120. And so really the Harkonnen's economy is higher than anything else measured. How's Belson doing? Let's see. The real question is how to respond. Are likely to be the final two, it makes it tricky to collaborate, and here I am, seeking collaboration. We have mutual enemies and both can be pragmatic. Some minor coordination could help us both. So I'm asking if you're willing to have some minor discussions about what you might consider classified. How you respond is very important. If I say the wrong thing, it could change the game against us. And I do like, and I've worked with him in the past, and I like working with him. But it looks like, but it seems like many of the people that I'm working with are partial to the Southern Allies, and so I do want to do what I can to help them out. As of the moment, I mean, just taking a look at this, Job Corb seems loyal to Grey Mason, and I don't think I've been able to actually, turn him against him properly, because allies very often don't betray each other, and so any attempt to turn an ally against another is just gonna backfire. No, you have to approach it at a different angle. I wonder if I made the right move. As fun as it was. Let's see. So how I respond is very important, and I should respond. This is the kind of thing that needs a response. Yes or no, and the answer is I don't know. To join with the South. They're in communication with Grey Mason. Let's see. Decisions. To align with the North or the South. So they went AFK. AFK. So they're all AFK. I can be sure that Grey Mason will do what he can to get these guys on his side. Because right now, if you look at the premier powers, the northeast, the northeast, the northwest, the central, and the south. Yeah, Phil Bill, has he been cooperating tech with any of his neighbors? Actually, yes. So that threat is forming up. Yes. Raren Rager. It's too early to decide, but he asked for my thoughts, and so I should be candid. He's done the math. He knows that he can't win alone. I doubt he's going to work with a southwest. Kara Starbuck Thrace is the only other option. Yeah, currently, who can he ally with? Right, who can he possibly ally with? The center? They're fighting it out. So right now it's not possible. The south? I'm sure Grey Mason will do what he can. The northeast. Oh, this is this right here. Perhaps Starbuck is trying to play both sides. We don't need a double agent. Lol. Even with potential enemies, it is important to have a line of communication open. The thing is, though, I don't know the correct way to go about this. You see, I'm extremely unwilling to give false pretenses. So I insist on being honest. And right now, I don't know what to say. See, the thing is, though, fighting him is going to be very difficult. So if I do end up having to fight, see, I either ally with him or destroy him. There's no in between. Because if we don't destroy him first, then he'll destroy us. Or we ally with him. And so he doesn't like this guy because, you know, he's a rival, a strong rival, surpassing him in both economy, well, not quite, but yeah, our guy is stronger, or at the very least very close rivals, with potentially weak neighbors. I mean, yeah, this, you know, he's dealing with a brick wall, and we have easy neighbors and potential allies. So, how sincere this could be, I do not know. I highly doubt it. It's probably some ploy. But if indeed something catastrophic happens, for example, like it turns out he was working with them and then they betray us, then it would have been foolish to have turned them down so rudely. Although it's safe to say that he's probably with us, but I mean, like, if we're dealing with, you know, for example, if we have fires of our own, then maybe cooperation with him might be important. So it's good to keep the door open. But I also feel like I must be honest. I don't know yet. But saying nothing, you know, it's... So, complete honesty is important. So, I suppose this is going to be my response. Alright. That will be my answer. What the response to this will be, I do not know. Alright. So I do not know if it might be important to ally with Grey Mason, because if he decides against joining with us and he thinks, because he has expressed worry about, where are we going to grow, right? And if we ally with these guys, they're gonna hit this person eventually. Scarlet has been keeping an eye on the entire galaxy basically, and he expressed concern. So I don't know how much I can trust him. And if he unites with some center of gravity in the south and attack us, we could find ourselves in a very tricky spot. Now, especially now that the leader of the game is on our side. So I'm gonna keep the possibility for Grey Mason to be ally, because even if like, because even if we don't like each other, I mean, personally I'd prefer to be allies, but even if he's inconvenient, fighting him could prove to be mutually assured destruction, and if fighting him will result in the destruction of my allies, then that would have been foolish, because it is important to not shock my allies too much about such a major decision. So yeah, I think it. No, I don't know. Well, alright. Let's see. You should do what is best for yourself and your alliance. There's no question on that. I will do the same. But I look for the win-win situation. Like any negotiations, it works best when everyone feels the deal is mutually beneficial. I assume you're aware of King Arthur's deal that he has sent to me. Surely you're in the loop on that, right? I just need details, but if they make sense, would gladly agree. I just need to understand a bit more. The thing is, though, I do not know. If King Arthur does have a deal, I wasn't aware of it. How do I respond? Do I admit that we're not coordinating on diplomacy? Well, this is certainly embarrassing and will weaken his diplomatic standing. And if he's going to be the one negotiating with him, then he needs to have all the diplomatic standing he can get. Oh. Oh, what do I tell him? I'm in a bit of a bind. Yeah, so I think I'm going to try to coordinate with King Arthur on this, because I have to be very careful what I say. Yeah, so this is the message. I've been talking to Grey Mason, but I don't want to inadvertently sabotage any existing negotiations you have. He said there was a deal suggestion, and he assumes I knew about it. I'm concerned that if I reveal that I don't know about it, he'll think it's a trick and grow suspicious of us. How should I respond? I fear if I say nothing, it could put our negotiations with him at risk. I think this could buy us a little bit of time. This is somewhat concerning. He grows suspicious of us. I'm starting to think that they are concerned. And it seems quite clear that he is not a big fan of Grey Mason. Yeah, I think for some reason these two just don't trust each other. I wonder why. Oh my gosh. It seems like he has good ties to these guys, and so he's making it clear. It seems like he's making it clear he is somewhat partial in favor of these guys. If that was the case, why didn't he give them any attacks? That's his choice, and he didn't. Well, he can't put that on me. Well, he expects me with my 12 industry to attack his 46 with inferior numbers? Come on. I mean, that might be what he'd do, and people have a tendency to project, but that's not what I do. Still, his suspicion could prove concerning. Maybe it's as a result of him. He's probably Zorb probably decided to ally with Grey Mason despite my attempts, because his only real loss in ships is with Tinfoil, and yeah, so it seems like Grey Mason and Tinfoil are not fighting. They have decided to be allies, and he's probably informed Grey Mason of my tendencies to turn people against him. And so he's probably trying my own tricks against me. Even still. It is somewhat concerning. Come on, you can't put that on me. Well, you expect King Arthur and the Hurricane to just go straight south, what, through you or me, even though they have an active war here. But it seems quite obvious that he and that Ive and Grey Mason aren't exactly going to be on the same boat. I mean, come on, this language is clearly hostile, or at the very least suspicious. If this, I think he's talking about. Yeah, I think okay. So so that was referring to here. Okay, fine, fair enough. Ive is probably fine and is probably on our side, but that sounds so suspicious. Come on. But he's in our alliance, and his well-being is, well, kind of my responsibility now. I can't just turn on him, even if I wanted to. He'd have to turn on us first for me to be justified in declaring on him. Now that he's in our alliance, his well-being is my responsibility. Which is why, if I pull these guys in, and that would kind of cut him off. Well, not really, but that's his call to make, and so I figured making that clear is important. So yeah, somewhat concerning, but if he sees reason and trusts me enough that I won't attack him with inferior forces, I mean, come on, that's clearly not my play. But yes, I think it's fair to say that, I mean, really I should be the one concerned about them, You know, it's like if they either have to be in our alliance, and I figured, you know, like this point of contact, right? Tech level 5, and I could be attacked. And I figured the Harkonnen would have expanded beyond that point. But since he has to turn west to help King Arthur deal with QWERTY with a keyboard threat, then I guess it was a nice surprise that Ave became an ally, or at least I think he is. But now, you know, once we reach tech level 7, then I'll have to deal with this front, and so either Ave conquers them and then I'll be surrounded by allies, or they join us. And so it seems quite clear that he is not interested in attacking him. And come on, you didn't make it clear, and what, you expected me to go over your head? Oh, whatever. Keeping cohesion the larger the group is just so much harder. But it's important. I wonder... Well, I don't think this match will see us as allies. As unfortunate as that is. Oh well. 2 out of 3 is not bad. Whatever. Okay, so he responds, I did at this time 5 people is Optimal Research Alliance. Others can be shared when agreed, so you can talk to them. So Ave is talking about a research alliance. I'm talking about a real one. I think that's what the misunderstanding is. You're just gonna trade with them and then attack them later. Okay. If you're going to attack them sooner, like, listen, like, you're the only one in position to attack the south. So whether we have any ambition in the south is up to you. So if they're going to be with us, they'll be fully with us to the end. And if they're not going to be with us, then why are you giving them techs? Or whatever. Okay. I see. He seems to have this idea that this temporary alliance. I don't know. See, the thing is, even though I'm trying to be as polite as possible, I am concerned that despite how carefully I try to word it, he might be offended and just attack. You know, you can never rule out people just being irrational and emotional about this. Well, it was a good thing I asked, cause this really sounded like, oh, we need to get them on board. But it seems that you know, now that I demanded clarification, it prevented a diplomatic blunder. So yeah, clearing that out was a good thing. Yeah, it's one of the important things in maintaining an alliance is clarity of communication. In order for an alliance to work, you know, it's very important to communicate with your allies and make your intentions very clear. Because, you know, if people are like doing different things, then, you know, and they step all over each other's toes, then that could cause then that could cause fractures and yeah. Well, it seems to be that Ayiv is in favor of red coffee instead of ripped Darmody, and it seems like they're not big fans of Grey Mason. Oh well. That does mean that we'll have to fight them the moment we oh, I don't know. The people that's gonna reach Grey Mason are going to be King Arthur and the Harkonnen. Now King Arthur is talking to Grey Mason, so he might be willing to coordinate with them, and the Harkonnen might be willing to coordinate with them. Although also Ayiv, does the Harkonnen and Ayiv don't really care much about Grey Mason. Well, that's what their words. I assume that means they're not interested in working with him. Also, Ayiv, is working with, considered working with these guys, or maybe either Ripped Darmody or Red Coffee, and really it's his choice because he's gonna have to fight or work with them either way. So, yeah, that's up to him to decide. I have the strong feeling that Red Coffee's planning on playing both sides. They reek of Lightweaver. Yeah, I'm getting strong Lightweaver vibes from him. He wants to communicate with everyone, and depending on which way the wind's blowing, then they'll pick. They would be nice to have as allies because they are powerful. I mean, look at this, like 40 stars. It's a respectable economy. Compared to the Harkonnen, there's dwarfed, and he only has 28 stars to their 40. Well, to his 40. Don't underestimate the power of Jewish meddling. Look at this. Yeah, all this money's gonna make an impact. I'm sure Mr. Keyboard is looking in shock and horror as these powers are crushing his industry. Galaxu's probably not happy about this either. Now what's concerning is QWERTY seemingly would much rather have claimed this whole area himself. It seems like he's had experience in this regard. However, as it becomes clear that he cannot hope to claim this area himself, he might reach out to his allies and try to bring them to help him. Now if this happens, this could be problematic for multiple reasons. If tinfoil gets drawn from this front to here, then it means our rivals, our good friends but rivals, will grow strong as a result of not being fighting so hard. I mean, 70 70 industry with 45 industry. 70 plus 40. Yeah, so they're dealing with 115. Really? Dang, he's gonna get steamrolled. He can't spare anything. Seriously. Yeah, what's Jorp Corp's role in this? I mean, it's clearly only have half the half the ships. I mean, they're coordinating tax. Now, how quickly are they coordinating? All right, let's take a look at this. Because how straight that line is gives you an idea of how effectively they're trading techs. Like, is there a long delay? Hmm. No, they're pretty efficient. No sign of someone being cut out. Hmm. Uh. Yeah. He seems to be in favor of these guys, but these guys smell like a light weaver. They've got light weaver written all over them. I mean, personally, I think these guys are better allies because they're weaker. They won't interfere with. They won't interfere with a core alliance, or rather, I think a better way to put it is they won't. They're less likely to clash with each other. Whereas if I accept them as core members of my alliance, then these are big players that could clash with each other, and then my beautiful alliance would end up fighting each other. That's not good. But I mean, if he's gonna be the one working with him, so it's up to him. If he wants it, then I guess that would be good for him, well, and also good for us, I suppose. Yeah, combined, 3,000s, 3,500s versus 2,000s. 3,500 as opposed to 2,400. Yeah, his weapon's like 6 to our weapon's 5. But that weapon's 5 ain't gonna save him. You can have all the weapons you want for all I care. Our numbers are just overwhelming. Yeah, he's gonna get crushed by our combined mights, plus the plus a little bit of financial help. Let's see. And then what happens here? Yeah, 30 industry compared to a combined total of 120. Tinfoil's gonna get mopped. Kind of like what's happened to him in the other game. I mean, could you really say? It's hard to say whether he got mopped or not, but I wonder what happened here to make him quit. I wonder just how good terms he left on this one. I wonder, just is there any bad blood between Tinfoil and Grey Mason? Is there? I mean, they're certainly fighting now. Jorb Gorb. Seriously, what's his deal? Yeah, as you can see, roughly about, let's pull out the calculator. You got 41 stars, and there's 70 industry among them. Or rather, there's 70 industry divided among 41 stars. So Grey Mason has an industry density of about 1.7. Jorb Gorb, I expect a similar number. 45 divided by 22. Significant, but his economy suffered as a result. Okay, fine, fair enough. Only 17 stars. How is Tinfoil gonna stop this? Well, the answer is he's not. But that's it. That is still a lot of ships. Yeah, like 31 industry to 17 stars. No, that was a miscalculation. Okay, yeah, reasonable numbers. Now, how's keyboard doing? Alright, you have 61 industry to 39. Not much, but he was going for the economy, and this economy was very powerful, and he also went for heavy science. I mean, compared to his allies, he's clearly the science guy, because I think he was expecting to have a steamroll against us, but now that Ave joined us, the Herculan can support him fully. I guess, his Galaxy-sized brain didn't account for that. Well, still pretty nice for us. This, so yeah, like, it's roughly an even fight, so it's not exactly a steamroll, and so they will slow us down considerably, and I suspect he will slow us down more than they can, but chances are, is that close enough? Tech level 4, yeah, okay, that they're able to reach each other now. Yeah, chances are that Mr. Keyboard's gonna have to fight on two fronts. So he'll crumble against the West as quickly as he crumbles against the East. And unfortunately, unlike the last game, instead of meeting him and becoming immediate allies, we might end up having to fight each other. Who knows? Maybe Grey Mason's talking to them to get them to turn against us. I don't know. The thing is, though, the Southern allies are clearly not interested in working with Grey Mason, and the Harkonnen also, the main guy in this story is also doesn't seem to be interested in working with him. King Arthur might, but yeah, I mean, you have either the split is here between Harkonnen South, or the split is here between Avon South. Either way, I'd rather not fight a civil war, especially since I'm gonna be in the middle of it. Sheesh. Yeah. For as long as Jorb Gorb is around, that's stars that is not in his hands. Cause you give this guy an inch, and he'll be able to get a mile. He's kind of scary. I mean, like, could you imagine what he can accomplish if he had 60 stars and 100 something economy? He'd smash through this 30 industry very fast. Whatever discord I was able to sow between these two is the only thing stopping them just plowing through and killing us all. That, and maybe his hesitation for a potential alliance between them. And if I'm being perfectly honest, I haven't exactly closed that door myself. How's the South? How's the other enemies doing? So they're practically sharing. Why is Dr. Philbill nurturing Warren Rager? Did they seriously see my trailer video and decided he needed to nurture him to health? Did he like look at him and say, "Oh, that's Grey Mason. Warren Rager defeated him before. He's his kryptonite." Yeah, come to think of it, that's actually what I saw in Fyordre. Actually, it turned out that we didn't have to fight after all. Pretty nice. But anyways, yeah. What? I suppose Warren Rager was strong enough that fighting between them would have been Pyrrhic and cost them valuable time. And I guess they're seeing, the outside threats. Like, these guys are clearly together. You just look at their numbers. Same text, exactly. And then you look at this. Like, all homogeneous. All, you have this giant block, which is all homogeneous and scary. You have this giant block, also tech homogeneous, scary. And you also have here, so I guess Dr. Philbill decided that he needs allies of his own. I mean, seriously, he wants to work with he wants to talk to everyone and try and like, yeah, I don't trust him at all.
Yeah, if I'm being perfectly honest, I don't trust him. I expect he's gonna flip it at any moment.
Oh, that's enough ranting for today.